important for groups like us to be involved and to intervene at that point also, so that it will lead to government policies and programs which are more directed at effectively promoting and protecting human rights.
We can summarize the work of the ALGs into three main categories: social justice, human rights, peace. We are working not only for the government, not only for other people to respect their rights, but also for them, for these marginalized people, to be able to recognize that these are rights that cannot be violated, and that because they have rights that cannot be violated, they should act whenever there are violations. And that they should have the ability to work, and to work within the legal system so that they can seek the proper remedy for violations of their rights. This is the essence of the work of the alternative law groups. What the law cannot do for them was very clear from that experience, that they had to do that walk, they had to do that historic march, 1,700-kilometer march from Mindanao to Manila, because the justice system failed them. And they are claiming their rights. They're claiming their rights. They're claiming their position in the legal system. They're calling our attention. Here we are. We are hoping that the legal system will work for us. It did not. And we are calling your attention. You're telling us that the system should work for us, and that the poor can access the legal system. Here we are. We have walked for several kilometers because we have waited. And until now we are waiting. And nothing has happened.
In 2000, the Sanila farmers were brought to prison because they tried to stop the traffic so that government can hear them. A lawyer like me would immediately say, I can file a case in court and bring them out of prison. But that does not help resolve their case. They will still end up being landless. Farmers, for example, are being filed cases on qualified theft, especially tenants. If I answer their case and represent them in court, tomorrow I know that another farmer will be filed a case. But if I look at the reason why these cases are filed against them, and then realize that there are conflicts between the revised penal code and the agrarian reform law, and try to resolve their laws, then I will be winning 1 million cases for a lot of farmers that I don't even know. Most lawyers, in my experience, do not always see it in that social context, that these problems are experienced not only by one farmer, and that is isolated. In most cases, the experience of a farmer in one village is also experienced by different farmers in the Philippines. And I think that's one of the most important tasks of lawyers, is not only to look at their problem in its very legal sense, but also to look at the root cause. Why is it happening to them? Why are laws not being implemented? And what gives the landowners, for example, the opportunity to skirt the law so that they can avoid the implementation of agrarian reform?
Saan at 44 na hektarya ng lupa na nasa San Vicente, Subilog, Bicol ay sementado. Ito ba ay lupa na agrikultura at may irigasyon? Kung oo ang sagot yan, ang sumunod na tanong, ito ba ay dapat sakupin ng Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program? Ang pangatlong tanong natin sa San Miguel, may permiso ba ang korporasyon sa isinasagawang mabuyan? Dumaan ba yan sa pagsusuri ng Department of Agrarian Reform at may nakuha bang conversion permit ang korporasyon para ang lupang bukirin, ang 144 na hektarya ng lupa ay gawin nilang mabuyan? Kung wala ang permiso, ang korporasyon, ang susunod na tanong, dapat ba ipatigil ng gobyerno, pangunahunan ni Secretary Pangandaman ng Department of Agrarian Reform, ang isinasagawang construction ng tigil doon sa prime irrigated agricultural land sa San Vicente, Suminaw, Bukidnon. Ganun kasimple lang po ang kasong ito. Hindi ito komplikado, hindi tayo magkatalo-talo sa usapin ng batas.
I know that laws have to be improved and there are no perfect laws, but the chair will appreciate
If you face legislators in Congress, then you are facing politicians with their own interests, business interests, political interests. And you are bringing to them the interests of the poor. And you are telling them, you have to pass laws that are for the poor. In a way, you are telling them, you have to work against your own interests. But because in most cases, the interests of the poor are in conflict with the interests of those who are in Congress. So you are, in one sense, approaching enemy territory if you work with legislators. Not all of them, but in general, legislators belong to the upper class of society. So here you are, a lawyer, supposedly telling them you are lawyering for these poor people. And in effect, you are telling them your families are committing violations against these poor people. Your laws are not working for them.
So we are pushing, Your Honor, for the extension, but with significant reforms that will accelerate the completion, specifically of the land acquisition and distribution component of the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program. Thank you very much.
There's a big gap between the justice system, between the courts and the institutions that we have in the country, and the poor, the marginalized groups. The work of alternative lawyering, or the work of alternative law groups, is to serve as a vital link that will bridge that gap.
Most of the farmers, for example, indigenous peoples in Mindanao, have not even seen courts. They do not have a visual idea of how the judges look like, and even how paper with laws look like. Most of them see paper with laws for the first time, and especially when our laws are written in English. They do not have any idea what it's all about. And they become surprised because suddenly papers come to them saying that they do not own the land anymore. And that's very difficult to understand.
Kami naglalakad dahil maraming problema sa aming lupain na ito ay gusto naming makuha at ibalik sa amin.
Nilakad natin ang 1,700 kilometers. Pero bakit hanggang ngayon? Di man lang kami pinapasok sa Malacanang, di man lang natin masilayan ang palasyo. Bakit hindi niyo pinapayagan ang mga kagsasaka ng Tumilaw na makapasok man lang at masilayan ang palasyo?
Ano po sana nakasagin dito?